destroyed. Hang on. The third was able to raise shields. It's charging weapons and firing.
Shield status.
It's not firing at us. It's firing at the starlight.
And the starlight? Were they able to raise shields?
No. They've been completely destroyed.
Dad. What was that?
The minion ship is attacking.
To quote an old friend, today is a good day to die. Good shooting, Lewis. Computer, set a new course, heading 137, Mark 338.
Is that the wisest course of action? So that's just going to be taking us deeper into the Badlands. Shouldn't we be heading out of them?
No, we shouldn't. The Dominion will soon learn that we have destroyed their border patrols. My guess is that they aren't ready to launch a full-scale assault just yet. If we escape with knowledge of them, then they'll have the Federation to deal with.
Well, that still doesn't explain why we're heading deeper into the Badlands.
After this little incident, they will double, maybe triple their border patrols. We won't have a snowflake's chance on Vulcan of getting through.
So we head deeper into the Badlands. Well, just until things have cooled off a bit. Then we head out?
Just so.
Personal log. We've been lost in the Badlands for 6 months. I have very low hopes of ever seeing home again.
Lewis, anything on sensors?
Nothing worth mentioning.
Okay, Lewis. I'll be in holodeck 1 if you need me.
Okay, Travis. I'll try and keep it together till you get back.
Thanks. Will I ever see it again? Computer, bring us about. Heading 1347, mark 23812.
Unable to comply.
The Mitaka fighters are closing.
Let's see what they think about our phasers. Lewis, hit them fast and hard.
With pleasure. Travis.
Come on. Have a seat. So, what have you found?
Well, nothing much. At least I don't think it is.
Well, what is it?
The area of space we're heading into has a high concentration of chromaton particles.
Chromatons?
Yes. What are they?
Chromaton particles, when energized, phase back and forth through time. If we had a fully operational starship, there might be a way to calculate and phase back to when the starlight was destroyed and prevent it from happening. Chromatons. We better get back up to the bridge.
You looked like you were having quite the dream.
I was.
Huh? What about?
You know, I'm not quite sure.
What?
Do you feel like we had this conversation before?
Well, now that you mention it, I do.
Something doesn't feel right.
Well, what was your dream about?
We were here, on the bridge of the Magellan. We were under attack. I just ordered you to...
Fire phasers. I know. I've had the same dream too. Only from my point of view.
First, you're feeling that something wasn't right. Next, we had the exact same dream, and now this feeling of deja vu. Things are far from right.
Sensors are detecting...
A planet.
Yes, that's it.
We've done this before. Strange. Seeing empty seats where there should be smiling faces.
Well, it does take some getting used to.
How much longer must these seats be empty? How much longer must we wander?
Well, maybe not much longer. Because the planet that we've detected does have life on it. The life signs are fluctuating.
Fluctuating?
Don't ask me to explain it. It could be from the chromaton particles in the area. The energy from our scans could be getting phased back and forth through time.
I see.
I've been trying to open communications to the planet, but there's been no response.
Do you think that the inhabitants of the planet pose any threat?
Not from what I can tell. They seem to be a warp-capable civilization, though.
Good, then we can safely initiate first contact.
And how do you propose we do that? They're not responding to our hails.
One of us transports down to the planet's surface. Simple.
It's not as simple as you think.
What do you mean?
The energy from the transporter might energize the chromatons in the area, and then it would take the person in the transporter beam with it.
A shuttlecraft, then.
A shuttlecraft has its own set of command codes. I doubt yours would work with them.
What do you suggest, then?
For now, we continue hailing the planet. And if in the morning there's no response, we should move into the planet's atmosphere and try to beam down.
What about the chromatons? Why won't they affect us when we're in the atmosphere?
The chromatons are sufficiently less inside the atmosphere.
Very well then. Meeting adjourned. Good morning, Lewis. Anything out of the ordinary happened last night?
Well, besides 2 orphans going through the Badlands in a Sovereign-class starship, well, other than that, no.
Any response to our hails?
No, the planet has begun to transmit a signal, though.
What do you make of it?
Well, if I'm reading the readings right, it says, all subsystems report to system 10101 and prepare to commence action 1100.
Sounds like a Borg code to me.
Well, maybe, but the Borg haven't been reported in the Alpha or Beta quadrants in quite some time now.
Well, I think the answers we need are on the planet we are orbiting.
Travis, I know what you're thinking, but I can't let you bring down to the planet.
Why not?
If it's the Borg, you'll be assimilated almost instantly.
Not unless they see me as some kind of a threat. Besides, we don't even know if it is the Borg.
Well, it's not worth the risk.
If it means finding a way home, yes it is.
I can see anything I'll say will not make any difference in your decision, but when you beam down, keep an open comm channel, and at the first sign of trouble, I'll beam you back up.
Agreed. Travis to Lewis, I'm in.
Careful, Travis. What's it look like down there?
I'm heading down a hallway. There are these alcoves cut into the walls. They don't look like Borg design. I'm gonna move on. I found a computer console, I think. I can't seem to use it. The controls make no sense at all. Moving on. I seem to be in some sort of library. I found an interface, a computer interface. It looks like I have access. I have access to their entire library. I'm downloading it all and sending it to you. Please review the data so we can go over it when I get back up to the ship.
I'm receiving the data and I'm archiving it for later use. Good work, Travis.
Thanks. Lewis, beam me back up to the ship. Energize. So what have you learned about the race on the planet?
They call themselves the Mintaka Collective.
Is there any relation to the Borg Collective?
No, not at all.
Go on.
Well, over 2 million years ago, the Mintaka ruled most of our galaxy, and then they lost it to other races.
How?
The Mintaka soon began wars among themselves, and so other races, such as the Grey and the Iconians, took advantage of that and declared war upon them.
And?
The Mintaka Empire soon fell, and all of its survivors retreated into the Badlands.
But why haven't we seen them since?
It seems the Mintaka amassed a huge invasion force, and then went into hypersleep.
But why?
The Mintaka knew that the Iconians and the Grey would soon fall to lesser races, and then they would come out of their hypersleep and use their invasion force to wipe out all resistance.
Is there any indication as to when they will awake from their hypersleep?
Unfortunately, yes. If the computer's translating is correct, they'll wake up within the month. And then...
The Federation will be utterly destroyed.
You got it.
We could wander lost in the Badlands for another 6 months and still not find a way out. And I don't think the Mintaka will just give us a map.
Next step.
If the Mintaka attack the Federation now, it'll be utterly destroyed. The Federation's only hope is that the Mintaka will put off their invasion for another year or two.
What could make the Mintaka put off their attack on the Federation for that long?
It must have taken the Mintaka a long time to build up its invasion fleet to its current levels.
Your point is?
If someone or something were to beam down and destroy that invasion fleet, it would take them an equally long time to rebuild it.
I still don't... Travis, you gotta be crazy.
Lewis, if we attack the Mintaka now, while most of them are still in hibernation, we could destroy most of their fleet before we ourselves were destroyed.
Travis, what you're proposing is suicide.
Attacking the Mintaka now could save millions of lives. And at what cost? The lives of 2 insignificant orphans.
The orphan part I'll go along with. But insignificant?
You've got me there. So, are we agreed? We attack the Mintaka?
Yes.
Very well then, let's get up to the bridge. I'm ready.
So am I. What's the plan?
I'll beam down to the planet with a supply of antimatter bombs, attach them to as many of the Mintaka fighters on the planet as I can, then I'll beam back up and we can detonate them from here. Meanwhile, you will move Magellan to the far side of the planet and lock weapons on their orbital shipyards.
Well, that sounds simple enough.
Oh, and one more thing. Don't use photon or quantum torpedoes. Their energy output is sufficiently large, is large enough to cause the chromaton particles in the area to phase back in time.
Understood.
Very well then. Let's make it so. I'm in. It doesn't look as if my coming here once before was noticed. Lewis, I'm having trouble getting a tricorder scan. Can you guide me?
I can. But you're having trouble with your tricorder? That didn't happen last time. Travis, do you think you're being jammed?
Possibly, but I doubt it.
Very well then. Keep going till you come to a door on your left.
Travis to Lewis, I'm at the door. I'm heading in.
Travis, come in. Travis, respond please. Ah, I've lost his communicator signal.
What a day.
Travis! Travis! Well, this is his last known location.
too?
Obviously.
I don't understand.
Well, understand what?
How we were detected. You said the Mintaka weren't supposed to awake from hibernation for another month.
Well, you must have tripped an alarm when you made your first trip.
Perhaps, but I don't think all the Mintaka have awoken. I saw several still in their chambers when I came back down. Perhaps only a few hundred or so have awoken.
You could be right, but either way, we're still stuck.
The fact that out of the millions of Mintaka on the planet, only a few hundred awoke makes our mission all the more easy.
Our mission?
Our original plan is still sound. We have to plant the bombs in the Mintaka ships.
And just how do you think we'll do that?
I noticed that they put all of our weapons into the locker just outside our cell. All we have to do is open the locker and we got all of our weapons back.
But we're still trapped in this jail cell. How do you propose we get out?
I was able to use the computer terminal there to hack into the force field's power settings. While I wasn't able to shut power off, I was able to tell it to get more power than it can handle.
So the force field emitters will overload?
Exactly.
I don't like the sound of that.
There, the force field's down. Come on, that'll soon be noticed.
Travis, do you see him?
The Mintaka fighters?
Yes.
Cover me.
Where are you going?
To plant the bombs on the Mintaka fighters.
Very well then.
There, Lewis. I've planted bombs in key places. When we detonate them, there should be a quite satisfying bang.
Then let's go.
Travis to Starlight, 2 to beam up. What was that? We better get back up to the bridge.
Agreed.
Status report.
It appears that a large number of Mintaka fighters are attacking the Magellan.
Shields.
Shields are down to 65%.
Damage to our hull.
When we binged up, the Mintaka were able to blow a hole through 3 decks.
Arm phasers and bring us to course. 334 mark 8812.
Ready.
Fire phasers.
1 party down, 30 to go.
Lewis, detonate the bombs that we planted.
I can't. They put up a signal dampening field. Okay.
It was all just an elaborate trap. They let us escape from prison. Let us plant the bombs. Just an elaborate trap.
Travis, Mintaka fighters are closing. I need to fire torpedoes as well as phasers to hold them off.
No, firing torpedoes would cause the chromaton particles to phase back in time. We cannot afford it.
Well, I think you'll be pleased that I found a way to get through their dampening field.
Okay, Lewis, let's light up the town. Damage report.
Unfortunately, the damage is less than 10%. It looks like the Mintaka were able to save most of their fleet.
Enough to defeat the Federation and its allies?
Unfortunately, yes. Our shields are down.
Is that all?
No, we've lost manpower and life support.
If we die today, so does the Federation. Lewis, ready a quantum torpedo.
Well, what about the chromatons?
That's exactly what I'm counting on to get us out of this mess.
Torpedo ready.
Fire. Lewis, what's the star date?
Um, 4357.8. Did it work? Have we traveled back in time?
Yes.
How far?
Let me see. Star date 4357.8. That'd put us about 3 days before the starlight was destroyed.
What do we do now?
Since we have traveled back in time, the Mintaka are still hibernating, which means we can beam down to the planet, plant the bombs, beam back up, and leave before anyone's the wiser.
Okay.
Bomb set, beam me back up and then detonate them.
Roger.
Person log. We have destroyed 95% of the Mintaka fleet and are heading out of the Badlands. Lewis found a navigation system in the data I uploaded from the Magellan's database before we went back in time. Come.
Travis, I've been thinking. Can we head back to where the starlight is and beam its crew off?
I believe we can safely and not run much risk of altering the timeline. The way I see it, the Magellan shield sensors were focused on the Dominion ships and the Dominion ships alone, so we run very little risk of seeing ourselves. The Starlight sensors were offline, and the Dominion sensors were running in a wide sweep normally, like they normally would. However, we destroyed the Dominion so quickly, I don't think that they would have time to attack us or alter the timeline any. However, I've been running some calculations, and according to my calculations, we have just enough power to head back to where the starlight is, beam the crew off, then leave the Badlands. After that, no life support.
I've made the same calculations too, and I think it's worth the risk.
Agreed. Let's go.
Now approaching the starlight.
Status?
Their shields are down, and the Dominion are preparing to fire.
Let's beam those people out!
Energizing. We've got them.
Lewis, set a course out of the Badlands, and send out a distress call as soon as we are clear of the interference.
Yes, sir.
Acting Captain's log. We have cleared the Badlands, and the USS Intrepid has responded to our call for help.
Daniel Hunter, USS Intrepid. How can we help?
My name is Travis Lakewood, acting captain of the USS Magellan.
Acting Captain.
It's a long story, one which I will explain later.
Understood. We've scanned your ship and stand ready to assist.
Thank you. We will start transporting people to the Intrepid right away.
Very well. Intrepid out.
Personal log. The USS Intrepid is taking us to Starbase 625. There my good friend Jack Lester is spending his spring break, and with any luck will be able to accompany me to Iota Epsilon star system. Captain Hunter has contacted Starfleet Command and told them about the Mintaka threat. Starfleet is sending the USS Tomahawk and the USS Methuselah to look into the matter. All in all, I'd say it's been quite an eventful week.